Recording has started, and thank you, ladies, for your time. I appreciate you being here for this session today.
Thank you. Thank you for giving us this session today.
Absolutely. You betcha. You betcha. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen with you folks, just to give a little bit of an introduction. Nick Tablione, that's my name. I've been, as I was just mentioning, been part of the Motorola and Rave team for the past 14 years. My specialty has been in public safety and school safety, K-12 school safety, and just public safety in general. But we're here today to talk a little bit about our mass notification program we call Rave Alert. And in the slide that's going to come up here momentarily, we always start with, back up a slide, there we go. So we always start with your residents and how this affects them, where it starts with them, getting folks to sign up for your alerts. There's a couple different ways to do that. One of those is what you're seeing here on screen called Smart 911. So your residents could, at the very, very minimum, go to your website, for instance, and register for a Smart 911 account. And that would give them the ability to start opting into your alerts. So you could provide a list as long as your arm, if you wanted to, of types of alerts that your residents can choose from. And then at that point, it would be select their language of choice, select do they want to get a voice call, an email, a text message, or none at all, simply. And they can go in there and manage that at any time. By opting in or out of those alerts if they see fit. So Smart 911 is really the hub and the backbone of what you folks will be promoting in the public to get them to sign up for alerts. In the event that you're not signing up for alerts in the community, we also give you the ability to share a short code or keyword with your residents, so that you can have please text this keyword to this short code to receive messages about, and you can define what those would be for. Is it going to be for emergency weather alerts? Is it going to be for, town activities or things like that? So you can have SMS opt-in short codes as well with this for them to have another layer of sign-up ability. I'm going to stop there and see if you have any questions or thoughts just on Smart 911.
Okay, so the first thing is I am the webmaster for the town. So your thought is that we might have a spot on the web page that just connects somebody to this, just announces if you want to get into the text to this alert system, go here, and once they go here, they're totally on your system.
Yeah, so they would go into the website, and it would really be kind of the yes, they would be in our system. So the backbone of your web page would be Smart 911.
So I'm not sure what you're saying. The backbone of my web page would be Smart 911. Yeah. I'm thinking I'm just going to have a link to your web page.
Yep. You could do that as well. So when we wrap this call, I can send you some examples of how some other agencies promote this on their website. So exactly what you said, Laura, if I have a link there to Smart 911, sign up here, it could take them to this page that you're seeing on the screen now.
Okay. And the alternative, though, if we did not link to Smart 911, you're saying that I could actually set up, have a web page, but no matter what, I'm linking to Smart 11. My web page is going to link to Smart 11 no matter what, whether I just say, click here to get to it, or whether I try to put more information on the page. They're still going to wind up going to your website. Well,
yeah, Smart. It would be the brand. It would be the branding at that point. So if you want them to see your brand in the town logos and not see Smart 911, that would be the advantage of just custom branding it basically on your
okay page. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, but the functionality would all remain the same. But yes, the backbone of it, or the functionality of it, would be Smart 911. You would just brand it on your web page to your brand.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. So with that said, once folks are signing up, I'm going to show you the alerting platform live. This is just a quick overview of it, but as you can see, it's really straightforward. It's very clean. It's we call it color by numbers process, right? So you can see things are in green here. If you needed work to do before sending an alert, it would be yellow. You'll see that as an example coming up, but it's a 3-step process. So I open my alerting platform on my computer. I select the template that I want to send out if I have a template created, and then I can click send. So I could prefab everything ahead of time. So all I have to do is hit the send button when I get there. So it's a 3-click and send kind of workflow.
So
Go ahead.
well, I'm sorry. So when you say you can do it, you're meaning any Woodstock resident can do it. So you're saying this is what the Woodstock resident will see and what they will do?
No, this is your internal. So this is you folks creating and sending messages to your residents. Yep.
Okay. So this is a town of Woodstock setup steps.
Yes. So this is how you would create an alert to send to your residents.
Okay. So who normally, when a town does this, we have a supervisor, we have a supervisor secretary, we have a town board, we have a town clerk. Who normally does the setup?
Typically we see IT folks get involved, people who are going to be kind of managing the nuts and bolts of the system. When I say nuts and bolts of it, it's really divvying out, like, who's going to be the person responsible for divvying out permissions to your users. Like, are all your users going to have equal permissions? Are some going to be able to do more than others or less than others? So giving people the administrative rights, training your users down the road. Like, we would train your trainer, and then you would be able to train your users on how to send messages. We also give you other tools to use for training internally, but nonetheless, to answer your question, like, somebody usually in IT or who has some knowledge of kind of being able to go into a system and kind of just toggle on settings and switches and things, right? So typically we see an IT person or somebody who's got some IT savviness behind them to be able to at least administer the program. When it comes to using the system, it is so straightforward, super easy. I can set you up with a login today, not tell you anything about it, and you would be able to go in there and intuitively send a message. It's that easy to use. So user training is simple. It's really that back end, getting your data loaded in, getting you guys set up on how to set your permissions and get your settings and configurations the way you want it.
Is there any limit on users? So if we wanted to have, is there any limit on users and IP addresses? So if we were home and needed to send out an alert message, we could do that. We didn't have to be in the office.
Yeah, no limit to users. So you could have as many folks on the system as you need sending alerts. There's no limitations to geography. So this is all cloud-based. So you could access it from your mobile phone or your laptop at home if you needed to. Or your phone in the car if you had to. You could see the image on the screen here as the mobile device. You could see the comparison. Cool. All we do is it just shrinks it down to your mobile size, so that the workflows that you'll use to create alerts, all the muscle memory you have, when you start sending alerts, will be the same on your mobile device as it will in your laptop. But to answer your question, yeah, it's cloud-based. You can access it anywhere, send when you need to. Yeah, easy stuff.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yep. Cool. Sounds good.
Yeah. Awesome. So with that said, I'm not going to bore you with any more slides. I'm going to go ahead and jump right into the system. So from the slideware to this, you could see this is exactly what it looks like, right?
Well, hang on. But you always have to tell us whether we're looking as the admin, if we're looking as the end user. So we're looking as the admin here.
Yeah, this is your internal site that you would use for sending alerts. So this is Rave Alert.
Okay. Are you going to start out with our setup? Because this is how we're going to send alerts, but we don't even have anything set up yet.
Yeah. So setup, really, I don't have anything to show as far as the setup goes. It really comes down to where are your lists located? How are you getting your internal lists in your contacts? Tell us where those live and we'll get them in there for you. And then as far as permission based goes, that's all done through training. I don't have any access to set those things up as on a demo site. This is more for usability. So when you folks have an event or something going on, weather event that you want to create and send an alert to your residents, this is going to be the system you log into.
Okay, and so before we go there, so back to the setup. So, and all understandable and not a problem. So when we do go for setup, then we'll be assigned somebody, and somebody will tell us what information we have to have available to be set up. Because right now we don't even know who wants to log in. Like you said something about you need to know who's the people or the something. I'm not quite sure what you just said about setup, about what we would need to have. We would need to know what we need to have available to work with the setup person. And I guess we'll work with the setup person, and we're thinking within a week we'd be set up, or 2 weeks, or what does the setup look like usually?
Sure. From the time we get sign off from you folks to actively using, we can have it done within days if it was like a super rush. If it's something that you want to, hey, we have a little time, we want to make sure we do it right, give us a week, like you said,
Right.
and we can have everything configured for you. So really, I think some of the things to put on a checklist, and like you said, Laura, these will get discussed with you on a welcome call. So
Right.
the first thing we'll do is set up a welcome call with your team, who's going to be involved in this, to be able to learn, okay, what are the roles that you want people to have. So we'll start asking those questions and developing the configuration for you based on those questions. And then at that point, our team will go back and we'll do all of the setup for you. So it's not going to be, here's how to do it, good luck. It's, we're going to set this thing up. We're going to configure it the way you want it based on those welcome calls. And then from there, I think the biggest thing for you folks that I would consider is minus your public, right? So your public is going to be signups, that texting opt-in. We also load in public landlines to get you started, so at least you have lists to start with. But with that aside, we would ask you, okay, internally, who are going to be your super users? Who are the folks who are going to run the system, like in the back end? The second thing we would want to know is where is your data coming from? So if you have internal lists and things of your internal employees and internal key stakeholders, you have internal alerting as part of this as well. So we can get your lists imported and start automating that if we can to help get those things set up. So that's kind of the way it would work is how do you want your settings to look? Here's your options. And then where is your, who are your users? What are their, roles? And then where is your data coming from for your internal contacts? Those are like the three big things from your agency's perspective that you should be considering on these welcome calls.
Right. Okay. All right. I'm a note taker, so I'm catching up. Okay. So the welcome. So we'll worry about that later. So within a week, like we would be having a welcome call. We might need to have 2 calls because we might have the one welcome call so that it's reiterated what all we need to provide. And then we may need to have a second call once we've got that to say, okay, here it is. So might the welcome call be actually 2 calls?
That's exactly how it would work. It would actually, it could consist of even more if you needed them. So it could be multiple, but typically I see 2 to 3 sessions where the first one is gathering all the information that we need to set it up. The second one is showing you all of what we did with what you gave us, right?
Right.
And then the third call is actually getting you trained and showing you, okay, here's how to do it. And here's your, resources moving forward for anything you need help with. So we also help you after the fact. There's a team in place called customer success.
Yeah.
That would help us with anything like post implementation.
Right. Okay.
But those initial steps include, yes, that welcome call to gather what we need, the second call to present it, and the third call to train you and make sure everything is up to par.
Okay, I'm still making notes here. Yeah, all good. So, and then once we know settings and the roles and all that stuff and the date of contacts, then as we get into this screen here, we'll be able to update those things as we need to, right? You'll get it set up, but these are all things that will then be updating as time goes on.
Correct.
Okay.
But I just want to reiterate, if we're here to help you at any stage of the process, right?
Yeah.
So if you ever get stuck or need help, we're here to do that.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, excellent. Thank you.
You're welcome. So the next thing I'll show you is just right in here. You could see all of these different templates I have set up. And this is, of course, a demo environment, so I've got so many different examples, but you customize this list. You can create as many different types of templates in here as you'd like, and for any purpose. Some of them I have, an active assailant, God forbid, internal emergency, or boil alert for the public, or, event notifications. There's fire emergencies, flooding alerts, so many different types that you can create in here. So if you think, hey, we have the top 10 we want to start with, or the top 5 we want to start with, you get those in, and then you can build it out as you go.
Well, you probably know better than we do what we're going to want. I mean,
yeah,
because we haven't done this yet. So this list looks pretty good, actually.
Yeah, it does, right? Yeah, the boil alerts are common, the flooding alerts, the fire accidents, things like that are pretty standard. So we'll get you started with a handful of the standards, and weather alerts, of course. But nonetheless, yeah, these are all just over time that they grow, they multiply. But just for the heck of it, I'm going to click one just to show you. So I'm going to say I want to send out my boil alert. There's a water main break, and we want to send this out. So when I pull this screen up, this is where I would configure my message. You could see everything. Step 1, step 2, and step 3 are all green, which means as this message sits today, I can hit continue. Sorry about that. And it'll take me to a little, I call it my sanity check. Nick, are you sure you want to send this message, right? It's a boil alert. It's going out through text, email, voice call. Here's a snippet of what the message looks like. Do you want to change anything before it goes out? Do you want to add any people before it goes out? But if it all looks good, I just go ahead and hit send. And I'm good to go.
Okay. We don't go yet. I'm slow.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you said at the top, you're going to send a text, you're going to send an email, you're going to make a call. So the text summary is saying, you write in there what the text is going to say. You write in the email section what the email is going to say. The voice summary, do you have to then make a recording, or are you just going to type in what you want it to say and the voice is going to be automatic?
That's a great question. So it will be automatic if you're using text to speech.
Okay.
So our system will default to text to speech, but you do have the ability to create recordings either ahead of time. So if you plan on using like a specific recording from a specific person, when it comes to weather alerts or something like that, you can have that as part of this template, so you don't have to record it every time. But if you wanted to, you can change this to voice recording, as you see on my screen here.
Okay.
And the Rave system can either call you directly and you record the message, or you can call Rave and put in the information on your screen that you see here, and it will, record your message that way. Or if you have, as I'd mentioned, those pre-recorded files, any type of pre-recorded audio file, you can include that in this message.
Right. Okay. Now, the other thing before you leave the screen, if you could scroll to the top, if you would.
Sure.
Okay. So can you click on type? That looks like a drop down. If you click on the little, okay. Oh, standard, snap send, and okay. What polling makes sense. What is snap send?
Snap send is just a way to send a, I'll show you. Really takes a long message and creates a short message out of it. So here's the original message, and it could shorten it down for you just to send like a condensed version. I will say this feature is going to be sunsetting soon. And the reason being is we've kind of taken a different approach to kind of that shorter message, where we start out like, and that really only pertains to text messaging. So in your text message here, you could see in this box where you would type what you want your text message to say. There's a pretty limited number of characters for your short message. It's about 600 or 900 characters or so, or 600 characters.
Okay.
What we've done instead of snap send is we said, okay, your short message will go here. If you want to extend that message or add an image or something to it, you click this box, it'll create a little link for you. So you put the link in your text, the person in the resident clicks the link, and then it brings them to this long message where there's now like 10,000 characters, right? So we've kind of taken the reverse engineered portion of that
Right.
SnapSend. So I wouldn't get too used to SnapSend. This is what's going to, this is replacing that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not a fan of, some people love AI to take your minutes for you, and then you always have to read it because it gets it wrong.
Yep.
So I wouldn't want to use SnapSend anyway, because I wouldn't want to shorten my message, because it might turn out to be not what I want to say. Now, the other
Right.
thing before you leave the page, so you have at the very top text, email, voice, all with the green, and then you've got all that RSS, X, Facebook, desktop, CAP, Guardian. Are
Mhm.
those are other ways we can get the word out? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is just for my demo purposes that these are even visible. Desktop alerting is not part of the standard package. Guardian is something meant for higher ed, so that's not even going to be on your screen. So you'll only see the modalities that you have subscribed to, and what those are right out of the box, like what you get would be text, email, voice call, RSS feeds. RSS feeds are simply just posting whatever message you have typed here to your website. So if you have a section on your website for emergency messaging, or if you want to put like a scrolling ticker across your website, we could post your messages there using RSS. That's part of this. Twitter and Facebook are included, so you can have as many different accounts linked to this as you want. So Lily, as a user, may have her own Twitter and Facebook accounts that her messages get posted to, and Laura, yours may have their own. If you have one for the town, that's fine too. You could select any messages you want to go to social media through Twitter and Facebook. So that's included. And then I had mentioned CAP being included. CAP is an acronym. It stands for Common Alerting Protocol. And this is what we use to set up your automated weather alerts. So if you want to have a template set up for, let's call it flooding or thunderstorms or anything that the National Weather Service is sending out to you folks as a watch or a warning, we can automatically set up a rule that listens for those specific things you want us to listen for from the National Weather Service. And it would automatically send the template that you pre-create for that type of weather event. So for, tornado warning, you may send out, hey, there's a tornado watch between these hours. Please seek shelter appropriately, right? Or something like that. And that message would get sent to your residents if a tornado warning came through the National Weather Service.
Super cool.
What's that? I'm sorry?
It's really cool. And
Yeah.
so that can be specific, like we can make that specific in terms of like if there's a certain shelter, or if there's like for example, like we have a lot of we've been getting a lot of like heat advisory issues. So like that we could make that kind of like linked into our like where the cooling center is going to be for the day, right?
Yeah, for sure. So you can send the link in your message like to the cooling center list, right, or the page on your website. So when they get the message, they click the link, it takes them to the document or to the resource that points to that the cooling center map. Yeah, for sure.
Super cool. Yeah, that's great. That's awesome.
Yep. So that's CAP. That comes with the service as well. And then desktop alerting you can add if you'd like. This is more for your internal notifications, where maybe my phone's in my desk, or I don't have it on and there's an emergency in the building. It would actually send a custom message. You can create it like you would an email. So if you want to put a picture or a link or anything like that in the desktop alert, it'll pop up and take over my desktop screen so that I would see that alert promptly. But that's something you could add down the road if you decide, hey, that's something we're interested in. But
yeah, okay. So just to recap, so text, email, voice comes with it. RSS, X, Facebook, and CAP also come with it, but it would be up to us whether we want to turn them on, right? And then you're saying, as you're saying, desktop is optional, but we would get RSS, X, Facebook, and CAP. That's part of the basic charge, I think you said. It's just it's optional whether or not we turn them on.
You're absolutely correct. So if you want to see them there or you don't, you can move the buttons or take the buttons out. So if you're not using it, it's not confusing anyone. If you do want to use them, you have the ability to turn those settings on and off, or you can call us. We could do it for you.
Okay.
But yes, you said it perfectly, Laura. They all come with it. That everything you'd mentioned, and it's up to you if you turn them on and use them.
Yep. Okay. Well, I said it perfectly because you said it perfectly. So I got it from you. So, okay. Excellent. Excellent. And thank you for, and I'm just looking at your other things here. Like you have a continue, schedule, save template. Oh, save template's kind of handy because we may want to, so that's how we would create a new template, right?
Yep. You would just, when you're done creating it, if you don't want to send it right now, you could just go ahead and save it as a template and it'll go back to the home screen I started on. You could schedule the alert. So if you want this to go out at any time in the future, as far out as you want to schedule it, you can. Or you can make this recurring. So, hey, every Wednesday for the next 31 occurrences, this will go out. So you can see here it's due to start or stop on March 3rd of next year.
Yeah.
So I could have this recur as well if I wanted to. But yeah, those are your send options.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you could then scroll up, because I don't know if I missed anything.
Nope.
Down. Should have said down.
Nope, that's it.
Oh, that's it for the page.
Yeah, it's very simple. Yep, very simple.
But hang on, but then continue is how you got to the detail, right? Continue is how you got to the page that had you list in the, right, there we go.
Yep. Yep, the confirmation page to make sure, my list size looks about right. Everything looks good before I send it.
Right, okay. And if you could scroll so I can see the bottom of this page. So voice summary. Call. Oh, this is interesting. So call retry, wait interval. That's probably minutes, I guess.
Correct.
Conference blast on. What is caller ID? Is that the caller ID that this is coming from?
Correct. Yep. You can customize that number.
Okay.
Quick question. Does the service kind of come with some of those built-in templates already? Or are we building all the templates ourselves?
Yeah, we'll get you started with like the top 5. I think we have for like, your weather alerts, for like boil alerts, like kind of the typical top 5 that you would see. So we'll get you started with those, and then you can either modify or add to those as you see fit.
Great. Awesome.
You bet.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay.
One other kind of side note that we can talk about with templates, and this is a really good thing, I think it is. So have you all heard of like Mad Libs? Do you remember what Mad Libs were?
Not really, no.
Okay. So it would kind of create this story for you and it would leave blanks, right? It would have you fill in the blanks. So you could put in whatever kind of crazy word you wanted into that blank. So it's kind of funny, right? But along those lines, with templates that you create in our system, you could set them up with those fill in the blank sections. So there is a water main break at, and then there'd be a blank for you to fill in the address or fill in the block number or whatever you want to customize. So you can create templates ahead of time with those fill in the blanks, and it won't let you send the message until those blanks are filled in. So you can get creative on some of those templates that may be what I call like fluid, right? They may change things, details may change. The structure may stay the same, like it's a weather alert, but the area may be different, right? So you could change those things and add those to your messages as well if you wanted to. Just as, like I said, a side note. So.
Okay. Well, I'm not seeing here how you would do that, but I do take your word for it. So
yeah, gotcha. But yeah, that's something just as a side note, like I said, you could put in there. But as it sits right now, the steps are simple. It's you give it a name. In fact, what I'll do for you folks is I'm going to go back to my my alert templates page, and I'm going to say, instead of picking a template, I'm going to say, let's create a new alert or a template here. So nothing is filled in. I'm starting from scratch. You could see the biggest difference is now I went from green to yellow. So I have to start doing things here. So we're going to call that a test emergency. So I gave it a name. It's a standard alert. Turned green. I'm good to go to the next step. Now I want to send my text message. please be advised of an emergency. It turns green. So now I want to say I'm going to send it via email. That turned green because it carried over what I typed previously. I could change this if I want, but if I want to keep it simple, keep it the same, it automatically turns green, carries it over.
Yeah, and I did see there under the email that you had a lot of when we got back down there again, that you can that you have your things that you can you can change, you can do links, you can undo. So I see that whole what do they call that bar, that bar of things that you can do. So
yeah, the HTML, that's a HTML editor, right? So you can do all of the links, images, and formatting in here that you'd like, for sure.
Yep.
Yep. And then, when I clicked on voice, it automatically carried it over for my text to speech here. So like I said, it defaults to that, but if I wanted to do my recordings, I would just click that. And then if I said, okay, I want to put it to RSS feeds, I would select, where it's going. In this case, I don't have a web page it's going to, so I'm just going to unselect it. But anything I want to send it to, I would click it. You could see now for Twitter profiles, it'll say, okay, do you have multiple or is there just one? Same thing for Facebook. Do you have multiple accounts linked or is it just the one? And then, CAP is set up ahead of time, so I'm not doing anything with that for this message. But then we say, okay, now that I've got how I want to send it, who do I send it to? So here's where my people and my lists live. So anybody that goes to Smart 911 or goes to that web page to sign up for alerts, they will live in here as your portal opt-in users. So I have them. If they signed up for those text messages, so send this keyword to this short code for these alerts, those lists would live in here. Any of your internal lists or custom lists or groups that you folks build would also be here for you to select. And then you could also do it by individual. So if there's another town stakeholder that needs to be involved in this message, but maybe not others, or they're not part of a list, you can include them individually here. A lot of times it's your internal contacts that would live here, right? So you can pick all of your lists from here. And then once I've got my list set up, I just save it. You can see that turn green.
Yeah. Okay. And I do have a question for you.
Sure.
So when people, so people need to log in and say what list they want to be on. So I say here's where the administrator is setting up the list, and I guess you're going to then show us, if you're the end user, how you're going to use it. But I guess then they pick what list they want to be on, and I'm just worried it could be a little bit of a coordination nightmare, and except unless the end user they're solely responsible for picking what list they're on, because we may say, hey, every list ought to get this thing, or we're just like, is one list going to say get every text or get every I'm just trying to the list management is my question. How is the list of end users, is each end user managing themselves and we don't worry about it, we just assume they're going to log in, set themselves on whatever list they want to be, or is there some management we're doing of lists?
So your public would be self-service. So they'd be responsible for going in and opting in and out of whatever messages they want or don't want. So that's self-service. Your internal users can use that portal as well. So if they don't want to get stuff, they could also be self-service, but you could also maintain them like on spreadsheets and things like that, or just add them to things. They could always opt out of stuff if you wanted to opt them out. So you could build an everyone list for your internal contacts and be able to say, hey, unless they opt out, they're getting the message. Or you can let them self-service. So you have a choice there.
Okay. Well,
but for the public, it's self-service. Yeah.
Okay, I'm making notes here. Give me a second to make notes. Okay. And then my other question is back to the RSS. As the webmaster, hypothetically speaking, so I create a page so that whatever got sent out by this alert would go on the web page. What goes on the web page? Because we might have sent a text, we might have sent an email, there might have been a voice. So we can point to what web page it's going to go to, but what is the notice that will get added to the web page? Because again, there's three ways you might have sent a message. The email could be different from the text. Are we going to say, here's a record of everything that got sent out by Rave Alert? Or is this just going to be a notice that something went out by Rave Alert? So how detailed would this posting to the web page, what detail is going to be in that posting?
So right here on the screen, you would see I could, here's the link it's going to go to,
Okay.
and here's the message that would send. So the message that I typed in for my text message originally, that first part of it, it automatically carried over to that too. So in this case, it's only text that would be going across on the screen or on the page of the screen. Or if you have images that you want to include in here as optional on your web page, you could do that too.
Okay, so the web page pretty much will be keeping track of the text messages we sent out.
Well,
whatever we put here. This section defaults to the text message that went out, and if we want to add some verbiage, we could.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
And does it automatically add it to the top of the web page?
I believe you can customize where that goes, so that would be up to you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks.
You're welcome. But any other questions on that, ladies? Because after that, it's really, I've got my list. Now I can do my send. Do I want to continue to send it? Do I want to schedule it? Or do I just want to save it as a template? And it'll go onto my home screen as a template, right? So,
yeah.
Yeah,
cool. No, I think it looks great. I'm assuming you're going to show us next what the end user is going to see when they sign up. But anyway, I don't want to overshadow. I don't want to overspeak Lily. Lily may have questions.
No, I think it's a great system. It's so clear and clean. So I am question free.
Great.
So okay.
Yeah. So from an end user, really, a text message is a text message, right? So that's coming across as you see a text on your phone. It'll be from your agency, like it'll have your name in there. So text message from, and it'll be there for them to read. Email, same thing. Like you could have email addresses that are known to the community, or things like that are recognizable. So you can customize what those look like. So when an email comes across, and then a phone call, like we said earlier, you can customize the caller ID of where it's coming from, so people have that recognition. But for signing up for alerts in here, this is what a resident's experience would look like. So they come in and they register their account with their name and an email address. And then at that point, I can come in here and start editing my information. Or I can start signing up for alerts. So in here, I could provide information, my name, email addresses, receive notifications to this email or no, profile update reminders. So we suggest keeping them on because if you move or something like that or something changes, every 6 months, we would send you a reminder to update or make sure your information is up to date as a resident. To continue receiving alerts, we want to make sure we have the most up-to-date information, right?
Yeah, and I see you have some things marked with an asterisk, which would be necessary, and other things is optional. People maybe don't want to share their date of birth, or they might not share other things.
Correct. At the basics, bare bones, name and email address, right?
Yeah, well, even email address doesn't look like it's required.
Not well, it is for sign up, but it's not for having like your as part of your basic information. So in order to get registered, you at least need an email for them to confirm your account, right? So
okay.
But the other part to Smart 911, there's a lot of stuff in here you're not going to use, so I'm not going to talk about like some of these details and medical info. That is a whole other ball of wax that we're not even touching, not relevant to this conversation. So that's not going to have any impact on you guys, but addresses they can certainly put in there. If they want to link any cameras in here, they can. Different phone numbers that they want to provide, emergency contacts, anything below that. You're really not going to be using this in your site. It's really going to be just for their household address and what types of alerts that they want to opt in or out of. So in this case, you could see the laundry list of things that this agency has. So now I can come in and say to receive updates and alerts for the fair week. I want to get a text message, I want to get a voice call, or I want to get an email. So in here, I can select or deselect opt-in or opt-out of these alerts. So same with any alert that I provide in here. I can have them either, because I didn't provide a mobile number for text messaging or a home number, I don't even have the option to pick them. All I gave was an email address, so that's all that I can choose as a resident. But nonetheless, here, this is where they would come in and pick and choose what they want to get messages about and how they want to get them.
Cool. So now you had said before, again, that they could either just go from our website from a link, and then they would just come right to this page as the setup. So that the only page that an end user is going to see is this one, I'm guessing, right?
Correct.
Okay. So they might have from the website clicked the link and gone there. But if I were an administrator, I would probably have your URL at the top, and I would probably enter your system using the URL, because I got to go in as an admin. Or how will an admin usually get there? Will they usually get there from a link from our website, or they just type in the URL and go do their admin stuff?
Yeah, you could just go to smart911.com, bookmark it, and go just do that. And this is what they would see, exactly what I'm showing you. The only difference is if they went to the web page, they would see your branding instead.
Right. Okay. And do you have an example of the, because you had said some other towns had that branding. Do you have an example of somebody else's web page of how people access 911 to see what, so if we had our branding, the end user would see everything here, except instead of Smart 911, they might see the town of Woodstock logo.
Yeah, I can get you an example. I just want to make sure it's okay to use before I bring one up.
That's fine. But what you're saying by the branding is it's really all of this information. It just, like, you've got a banner here that's green that says Smart 11. Our town website banner is also green. It's kind of like an aqua green, but it's got the town logo on it. So if we were to make it ours, quote unquote, that the end user sees, it would look just like this, except that it would be our banner. Instead of your green and Smart 911, it would be our banner. Everything else would probably look the same.
Exactly correct. Yep.
Oh, okay. And we could pick different colors, right? The high nick is in kind of reddish. If I didn't want red, I could pick a different color.
You betcha.
Cool. Cool. So yeah, yay. So, but then again, if I were the admin, so if I have this page, on my website, where people can hook into this, but I'm actually the admin. So if I were to click that, go to that page, I would need to be logging in as an admin. So I could get to this page and then just click somewhere to say, hey, log me in as an admin.
So there's really no admin function in Smart 911. This is a public national domain. So there's really nothing you as an admin, when you say admin, I'm thinking like internal role, like,
the internal role. Oh, so I would just be, because I see there's a sign out, but I guess that's you. So yep. I guess that's my point of confusion, though, is so say I have this on. So say I have a page that looks like this, but it's actually on our website and it looks just like this. But I'm also the admin. I might be an end user, but I'm also the admin. So I want to flip over to the admin screen so I can send an alert. So how would I get from this screen to send the alert? Or I would just enter from a different way. I'd use a different URL to get to that page. So
you can see I have two tabs open here. So one of them is my Smart 911 dashboard. That would be like your website, right? That's where your Smart 911. And then here's my tab for Rave Alert. They're not together, so they are separate. This would be a separate tab. Yep.
So you don't go from one to the other. You're either logging on as an end user, setting up your profile, or you're logging on as an admin, setting up the alerts. So you're not flipping from one to the other. You got two tabs open, right? You log into one on one tab, you log into one on the other tab. You're not within this page flipping to change your role of whether you're an end user. Okay, gotcha.
Correct. Yeah, end users will never, ever, 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 ever see this Rave Alert page that I'm on. This is really your mechanism for communicating with them. So this is nothing they would ever see
Yeah.
This is the only thing that they're going to see as it relates to notifications for your town is how can I get them and where do I go to sign up for them? So yeah, that's really it.
Okay. Well, and I'm also seeing that if you're the end user, you're going into smart911.com. If you're the admin, you're going in through getrave.com. So that ties in with what you're saying is you log on a different way. If you're being an end user, you log on this way, you go to this URL. And if you're being an admin, you go to that URL. So it's not all combined inside. It's you just log on to where you need to go for what you're trying to do. So that'll make sense. So
I have a quick question. So for users that are signing up via an SMS, so they get an SMS, they can reply with a code. How do you generate the initial list of phone numbers to send that SMS out that they can reply to?
So that's gonna again so there's a couple different ways. So you can source that through like crowdsource it, right? So send a message out from Rave Alert saying to your landlines, right? So first thing we'll do is because you have no signups yet, right? So we're going to say we load in your public landlines, and we know it's not ideal, but that's like a good starting point to say, hey, we're using a new system. Please visit this website or go here to sign up for alerts. We also give you access to what we call our customer marketing portal, very original, right? Yeah. That houses all of the different types of materials that you could use to promote the signups in your public. So whether it's a banner that you post up in the post office or in the senior community center or in the rec center or in the Y, wherever you want to advertise that, hey, we're using a system, here's how to sign up. Either go to smart911.com, the website, or text this keyword to this short code. So a lot of it is going to be crowdsourcing your lists to get that, but we'll get you started with at least loaded landlines to be able to send an alert out to let people know that you're using a system. Everybody else, it's either word of mouth or through advertisement that, like I said, we provide all of the marketing materials that you can use. You just brand it to your own agency or your own town, but you could use all the content that's in there and all the different things. Like I said, there's everything from postcards to banners to vehicle wraps to radio ads to magnets, whatever type of stuff you want to use to put into the community to promote it. Cool. So that's how you would get people to sign up for that.
Cool. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was like a vicinity based thing. Like I know that sometimes like cell phone carriers, if you're in the vicinity, you put a message, kind of like a direct message out through them, but I wasn't sure. So, but thank you.
You're welcome.
So if you do these loaded landlines and you're saying that way you could use these phone numbers to send your first message out to let people know they can sign up, but they didn't actually give you permission to use their landline.
Yeah, so it's not breaking any TCPA regulations because it's considered public safety and emergency notifications.
Okay.
So with that said, we still do have to provide the caller or the end user with an opt-out. So in a voice call, it could be press 1 to opt out of these messages, and it'll remove them from the list, right? So there has to be some form of opt-out, whether it's emergency or non-emergency. Solicited or not. I think the designation for that unsolicited message for us is that it is public safety and it is emergency notification. So I think you get 1 or 2 freebies out of that, but you do have to provide a backdoor out for them.
Okay. Well, and it sounds like all that you tell us that again on the welcome call.
Yes.
So yeah. Wow. Well, I think this is excellent. There's so much that makes sense here. And it sounds flexible, adaptable. And we do a pretty good job. We have a newspaper that is considered the town newspaper. It's for the whole county, but in any event, the town has said, hey, this is the official newspaper to get news about the town. I'm sure they would put notices in. I'm sure they would, we could have, again, print notices there. They would put it in articles. We have the website. We have a Facebook page. So, we would be getting the word out, I think, pretty well. Plus, as you said, the loaded landline method of getting information out to one set of people. So And if they still have a landline, there are probably people that maybe don't get on all these other ways of doing things. You're probably going to get the people that are a different generation on the, and I'm in that generation, by the way, so I can say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I don't opt into many things like the emergency stuff. I will, just for, obvious reasons, but anything outside of that, like, I don't want anything. So
Yeah.
I don't use it. But yeah, anyways.
So this is excellent. Well, I think it all looks excellent. It all, again, it makes sense. As I mentioned at the beginning of the call, I've been doing IT for a lot of years. And so it just, if I were to build this as an application, this is how I'd want it to be, because it's, it looks very user friendly. It looks very straightforward. And we just need to figure out, the roles, who's doing what, and how we make it all happen. I think, but it's looking like a right size fits us. So,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's great to hear. I appreciate that. And we do have you covered from start to finish, right? With getting you set up and just kind of going through the steps and process. We have the team in place that'll work with you and guide you along the way. After the fact as well, right? You can always contact me for any reason. I'm probably your best, initial point of contact. More often than not, I'd play traffic cop and say, hey, let me get my colleague, on this team involved to help. Some things I could fix and talk through simply, but other things I'll play traffic cop and get us to the right people. But you'll have access to me and, like I said, our customer success team. Anything that you need support-wise, 24/7, 365 here in the States through either our ticketing system, which is right inside our alerting platform, or you can call our 800 number, and that would get you to our 24/7 support line for emergency support.
okay. And if you could share that, the 800 number.
Yeah, I don't have it handy on me. You'd think I'd have it memorized, but I never call it, right?
There you go.
Let's see where we're at here.
And since you say we can reach you anytime, do you prefer being reached by email or phone?
Either or. I'm accessible, phone call, email. So yeah, any which way you're comfortable, certainly do that.
Okay.
I'm responsive and yeah, for sure.
Let me know what those are, if you don't mind.
Yeah, not at all. So email, actually, I'm going to send an email out to the group after this, and I'll include a quote. And then from there, that'll have all my information, and my cell phone number, my email is all in my signature. But I can give it to you over the phone if you wanted to.
That's fine. If you're sending emails, you have Lily's email and mine?
I do, yeah. Your emails are both in the invite that got sent out. So I have those, and I can email the group when we wrap up that. Yep.
Okay, cool.
Nick, thank you so much. This has been really, it's not intimidating at all. So
yeah, well, that's good. I hope not. It's like we try to keep it pretty simple, right?
Yeah.
And pretty uniform for folks, right? So whether you're a city of like 600,000 or a town of 6,000, it doesn't really matter, because you're going to make it, what you need it for. It's very flexible, like you said, Laura. So yeah, I'm glad you guys saw the simplicity of it. So that's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks very, very manageable. Totally very manageable and very helpful.
Perfect. When we check the boxes, I think, Laura.
Yay.
But with that said, yeah, I've got to jump to another one as well. But in any case, I'll follow up with you guys here in the next half hour or so with an email and my contact information. And then I'll put together a quote that'll follow. I know Laura has one, but I think I have to refresh the expiration date on it. So I'll just resend that as well.
Yeah, we have a Laura and a Laurie. So Laurie has I'm the Laura.
Oh, Laurie, right. Okay, so Laurie has that. Okay,
we're
got
it. Two different people. So,
Yep.
All right. Thank you so much, Nick.
Yeah,
You're
thank
welcome.
you.
Thanks,
Have a great
ladies.
day.
Have a good. You too. Thank you so much.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.